Well, welcome everybody. As you know, well, thank you for staying here in the studio. We just came back from commercials, and now we're going to continue with our second guest. And our second guest is Tony. Please join us again. It is really nice to have you here all the way from the Philippines. It is great to have you. Please have a seat.
I must warn you that I was given a briefing by Piers Morgan on how these things are conducted, Jaime.
He doesn't care.
Okay.
Don't even think about it because Mr. Morgan is quite intellectually provocative. But here, we are down to earth.
Okay,
I'm just
great.
kidding. Well, welcome again. It is great to have you, and we understand that you have a lot of experience, and many of the young people, the social entrepreneurs here, would like to know more about how you do things. And let me start with a really open question, but it has really business sense in the amount of $600 billion. As you know, the business of the pyramid sustainable housing business opportunities, not only in the Philippines, but in the whole world, is roughly speaking $600 million, which is twice the size of the Norway economy and 3 times the size of the Danish economy. So it is a lot of money and a lot of opportunity. How can you yourself and your company bring students and faculty together working with you in order to have a stronger, conclusive, concrete impact on housing opportunities as life solutions?
Okay, I think the first element to emphasize is that no size fits all. And it would really have to be something that would have to be different country by country. And therefore, I would like to think that there should be alliances and partnerships that have to be formed in each of the countries so that a more country-specific solution could be arrived at. It would be best if there would always be a private sector partner. There would be a sharing of what are the best practices that they would be able to do. And as a consequence, be able to roll off this type of projects a lot faster. I think we have seen how there have been so many initiatives like this in the past, but unfortunately, it has not really taken that much traction. We are quite confident relative to the basic model that we are now putting together, and but I will not be able to say that exactly that model will work in another country.
Okay.
It will really just have to be very specific, and we just have to spread out the learnings that we're getting from each of these implementation.
You know, I just got information from the University of San Diego, and they have, roughly speaking, 100 students last semester, business engineering students, who would like to do internships in your company. How could you take advantage of these 100 vibrant and brilliant ideas people?
Well, I think we've got to get their boots on the ground, okay, and really be able to get them to actually be present from the project development phase all the way to construction, project management, and all the way down to the turnover to the people who are going to be making use of these households. I think that's really the only way we're going to be able to make this happen. We know that as far as the construction and the real estate business that is applicable to the tip of the pyramid, meaning the high-rise condos, there are just so many courses already that are being offered. And it's true that most of the companies will be making most of their money on that side. But I think it is really such an important sector, given the magnitude of what you've talked about, that this similarly has to be given equal weight, largely because this is a new learning. It is not like maybe what is applicable to those that are going to be the premium products, which I think there are so many people already who are quite familiar with it. But this is really something that when you look at it, it is a very interesting part. Even me, myself, I would really say that there's a lot more that I should learn relative to this particular market segment.
We have 2 additional issues that people from the audience is sharing with me. Let us assume that now you are an executive professor in residence for 18 months at the Ayala Center for International Business, University of San Diego. You are so qualified, so good at what you have done in your last 30 years of your life that you would like to contribute back to society via a university. So you are our distinguished executive professor in residence. Tell us 3 things you would like us to do with you.
Okay, I think doing something like this is a very important event. I mean, when I first got immersed into this base of the pyramid initiatives, I was influenced largely by a conference in the university. I cannot recall the name of that university in Boston.
One of those
innocuous ones. Okay, and there, I think when you see other business leaders getting together, probably that's an item that we could add on to a conference like this. If we could have other business leaders who probably are not even in the base of the pyramid yet, who are not engaged in that sector yet. Because I think that's a great way. University of San Diego is an institution that would have that credibility, would be able to invite other CEOs, because I think that's where it starts.
So that is bullet number 1.
Yeah, that's I think one very important element. A second one is to further expand the research as well as the curriculum. I think we mentioned earlier about that point that there's not too much going into this. This is an item that we somehow discuss in a summit like this. But in reality, it should really be part and parcel of the formal curriculum. Research as well is just as important. I think each of the case studies that we have heard today fit that bill. I think we should really be encouraging a lot more of this, because we know that as you start getting to things implemented, it will never be something that is a formal textbook learnings that we are going to be able to pick up. It has to be a lot of case studies. The whole field is evolving quite fast, and we just have to make sure that these are always keep getting updated.
And number 3?
Well, I think, again, what would be good is a mix of what you were talking about earlier, having people who will be immersed in actual field situations, getting their hands dirty, because that is the way that the thought process, it's a mindset game for me. It is not really a case of something that you would say is just step 1 to 10. It's got to be something that people have to learn just how to adapt and to really actually see what's happening. Unfortunately, we have such a clinical situation here in San Diego. Everything is perfect here. And almost.
Almost. Because we don't have you yet.
Yeah, almost.
Yes.
And yet we know that the base of the pyramid is quite rough down there.
Yes.
And an immersion level is something that's, I think, extremely important, so that we would really be able to see what the appropriate dynamics would be like.
Let me put it in 5 bullet points. This is what I heard from you. Number 1, let us have the students and the faculty into the real world. Get into action. Get the boots with some dirt and go to the field. That is number 1. Second, solutions need to be customized. We need to design something which is culture-specific, region-specific, lifestyle-specific. Number 3, if you become an executive professor, you would be building a school of thought. A school of thought that will be sharing with the students, sharing with business leaders, and sharing with faculty members a new way of understanding and perceiving business, and in particular, via the expansion of research and the curriculum. Tony, this is great.
I think you're better than Piers Morgan.
I hope to see you in Makati.
Okay,
Thank you again for
Thank
coming.
you, Jaime.
Yeah.